I should have got an intro going. Are we live? We should be. We are live.
We're live. Welcome back, guys. Goon Platoon again here on your Friday night, keeping you guys updated with all things important and definitely not important. So, next episode we've got a good guest with us, by another name, great name, John.
Not
so
great.
If you want to introduce yourself really quick, John, and let people know a little bit about you and what you've been up to.
Absolutely. So my name is John Heck. I'm a strength and conditioning coach in football. I'm a bodybuilding enthusiast, competed in powerlifting, strongman, worked with Justin on and off over the years in a coaching capacity. I played football at the University of North Carolina. Once I graduated and got out, I got right into powerlifting. I knew from an early age I wanted to be a strength and conditioning coach, so I was always passionate about training, nutrition, all that. And so went after powerlifting, then got into strongman, and really was interested in nutrition for years. And I figured the best way to kind of learn about that was to work with a coach. And so I worked with a few different coaches on and off over the years, just basically going through a bodybuilding style prep every year. And started working with Justin back in 2019 and had a lot of success with that, learned a lot. And we've worked together on and off over the years and kind of formed this relationship. And here I am.
So question for you, man, because this is on you. If you go to John's Instagram, one of his first posts is with the Houston Texans. Were you a strength coach with the Texans too, or what?
I was. So that's where I was with them last year. I was awesome. A strength and conditioning coach with the Houston Texans. Had a great experience over there. I got an opportunity back in college, and college, NFL, they're very different settings in terms of the role of the strength and conditioning coach. And I kind of had the itch to get back into the nitty gritty of strength and conditioning, where you can, we're developing kids, and you're kind of an authority figure. You're working with kids from age 18 to 21, developing them, training them hard. It's a little bit of a different ball game in the NFL.
Do you feel like people listen a little bit more in college, like the younger guys?
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. So I mean, in college they have to, right? Like you're the boss, you're an authority figure, you're a disciplinarian. With that said, though, in the NFL, the guys are a lot more mature. They're older, they're professional. You don't have as many punks and bad seeds as, you'll get a handful of those in college. So, college, they have to listen to you. What you say goes. But in the NFL, a lot of them want to listen to you. They want to be coached. It's just a little bit more of a colleague relationship there, because I mean, they're grown men. They've got families. You're not an authority figure to them. You're just helping extend their career, keep them durable, help add some years to their career. And whereas in college, it's like you're a culture setter in a lot of ways, as well as developing them physically.
Well, dude, we're happy to have you on the podcast tonight. Want to kick it over to Justin really quick. Guys, don't forget, ATP is out. We just released this, last week? Has already been a week? Hold on, Justin. I think you're muted. Hold on, let's get Justin back.
Actually, I literally just received my order of ATP.
Did you just get your ATP?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got mine today. I have not tried it yet.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Justin's back, guys.
All right. What the hell is that?
So definitely make sure you guys check it out. Get your ATP, your effervescent.
Yeah, I mean, try it if you haven't. It's a great product. The early reviews have been really good. Everyone loves it so far. So I think it's the best energy product on the market. As far as because it's something that just keeps working better the longer you take it. The neurogenesis is no one else has that. Nothing else has that. If you've ever taken an energy drink, if you're ever drinking coffee, you've ever had a pre-workout, you've ever taken a nootropic, you ever needed to study, you ever needed to work a lot of hours, anything, it's got you covered. I think we'll actually be putting that the new ingredient probably in a non-stim pre-workout at some point, because it's technically not a stimulant in the way that it doesn't work on like caffeine and teacrine works by blocking adenosine receptors or reducing adenosine levels in the body. It doesn't work through like the noradrenaline or adrenaline pathways. It's really purely it's mood elevating, antidepressant, and then cognitive enhancing.
Yeah, we're definitely pumped about this one. What's been going on in your life, Justin? You've had a week since we saw you last Friday. Has anything crazy happened?
I've worked every pretty much every second since then. It's madness right now. I mean, ATP launch was big, stressful. It's really exploded. Sales have exploded. We hired if anyone wants to know what's going on with the supplement company, we're hiring some people. Hired some people for Google and SEO. We're going to start Amazon, branching out strong. When we're on Amazon, but we're going to make a stronger push for Amazon. We got a team for that. John's actually going to be helping us out with some stuff. We're going to get him in some graphics, some ads, and hopefully at the Arnold booth, making me look small.
Hell yeah, dude.
And then, so yeah, it's just absolute madness, trying to scale, and we're filming with Generation Iron. And they'll be back here at my house in about a little less than 3 weeks. We'll do the next section of filming. We're looking at a building right now to move into, office building. Probably we're looking at office building, a couple of them, but one possibly to rent with first refusal to buy in maybe a year. It's a huge facility. It's 15,000 square feet. So we do that. That would be wonderful if we can get to that, because I'd like to put in a private gym there. I actually have a whole kind of idea in my mind. It's got this big, it used to be like a whole medical office building. It's huge, 15,000 square feet, but the entryways, tall ceilings are huge. And I want to do like a private gym with all glass in front, all windows, and you walk in and basically the lobby is the private gym. And then, we'll walk over to our office, offices or whatever. I don't know how much any of us will be in the office, because none of us are local except me. And I don't ever leave the house. But I got the office at home. But we need it. I mean, we're just outgrowing everything we have right now with the company. We got new clothing designs. You can see new hats. We just released a new duffel bag, a gym bag today. I just did a story on it. We'll do a full post on that. We got a whole new fall collection of clothing. Clothing's up, much upgraded. We had to have some clothing on the site when we first started, but the designs were kind of limited, and I didn't really like it. But you have to have something for brand wear. So hopefully, if you haven't checked out our brand wear lately, check it out again. We've got really good designs, high quality clothing. Everything's upgraded. The previous stuff as stock is sold off, we're not replenishing it. We're all new designs, like kind of what we're wearing here. I think you'll like it. Meat Rice Repeat hoodie's been selling really good. We're gonna do a V-neck for that any day now.
The quality of the hoodies has gone up. Like, dude, I've been wearing the Meat Rice one, the one I had the photo on the website.
Yeah.
And it's like it's thicker. Like it feels heavy. Yeah, some hoodies this one feels heavy.
It's good. Yeah, no, it's not cheap. I mean, but what we're doing with the clothing is we're not looking to make money on the clothing. I want clothing people are going to buy and wear. We can get a crappy Gildan, shirt for $9 and sell it for $14, and after shipping come out even. But we're not looking to make money. I'm basically looking at it as cheap advertising. We don't really make money on it, but anybody wearing it gives us advertising. Mm-hmm. So the quality is really high. The expense isn't outrageous. So
I mean, once again, guys, like, we are super thankful for everyone who supported us when we were first attachment, and then through the transition into Troponin supplements, guys. I can't stress that enough, how much you guys mean to us. And so the reason we do,
we're up 78% this month growth. Is like
love you guys. And the fact we're putting effort into putting out new products, stuff that's not even on the market yet with the ATP, right? And new clothing, just constantly, and you guys will see in the Generation Iron documentary what it's taking. and how much time away from family, things like that. But it's okay because, you know, we're loving the process and we want to put out good products and we want to make a good company and a solid company made by lifters, by athletes, for people who actually do the same stuff that we do. So, you know,
that's the hardest part, you know, and every night I kind of have an existential crisis because here's where you are when you own a company. We're taking the approach, we're putting out better products. We are, you know, and it's not, you know, the science is the science. Better product. It's not, and we're not the only ones privy to what makes a better product. We're the only ones who are focused on making products over making profits. I mean, you know, obviously we got to make profits or we can't stay in business, but, you know, we could put out a shitty berberine with just berberine and cinnamon, and most people buy it because they don't understand what sodium caprate is or permeability enhancers are, or why piperine can help the absorption, or why, you know, berberine, unless you're taking it every 90 minutes, it's essentially useless. Where if, with our sodium caprate, you know, our blood levels at hour 6 are higher than regular berberine at hour 2, you know, so you know, and when the research data proving it's more effective, it's better, not just more effective at increasing blood levels, but actually lowering blood glucose and stabilizing A1C. The same with our, you know, our ATP. You know, like our new product's it's not cheap. You know, like when you're the only one putting out a product, it's not like you just go to a manufacturer and be like, yeah, give me some of that. You know, no one has it. You know, we have to source it. We have to find, you know, like we have to find like a chemical manufacturer. So, but the problem is exposure is what sells. You know, everyone's gone to the gas station and bought a, you know, a crappy energy drink for $4, you know, and not even looking at what's the ingredients. And so that's the hard part, is we're going to continue putting out the best products. We need our customers to, you know, we need word of mouth, because all our money is going into product development, not ad spend. It's a different approach. We might be stupid with it, but, you know, that's the approach that Tesla takes. Elon Musk says, you know, make a better product, and eventually people will know, you know, so we just got to get to people knowing.
All right. So we have a topic that we were talking about earlier off screen. And apparently there was a little bit of chatter about UFOs, and what was it, USO? Unidentified.
Yeah, it's so wild. The videos are just out there, just holding congressional hearings. They're talking about
do you guys
portals,
think,
ocean aliens?
Yeah. Like, well, hold on. And John, too, I want to hear, do you guys truly think that we're alone, or do you think that there's stuff already here, like UFOs?
Oh, well, in the universe, like statistically, it's almost impossible for us to be alone. I don't think people realize our brains can't understand how big the universe is. You know, there's more stars in the universe than there are grains of sand on Earth.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to a beach? Now think of all the beaches everywhere. You ever been to a desert, the Sahara? Count how many grains of sand are there. And every one of those stars might have multiple planets around it. I mean, we just can't, you know, there's like 400 billion stars and million stars in our galaxy. And there's potentially 1 trillion galaxies in the known universe, which might be a small fraction of the total universe, which might be one of an infinite number of universes. You know, and so the interesting thing with the aliens is we always look like, well, how do they travel to us? And the thing is, like, with current understanding of physics, they're not traveling to us. You know, the Andromeda Galaxy is the nearest galaxy to us. It's 4 million light years away. By definition, we cannot travel the speed of light. Anything with mass cannot travel the speed of light. Anything without mass can only travel the speed of light. But even if we could travel the speed of light, it would take 4 million years to get to the nearest galaxy. You know, we're not getting in a spaceship in, you know, 4 million years. You know, Earth, like, civilization would be, whether it even exists anymore, would be unrecognizable. So there's no transfer of information that way. The weird thing is, one of the laws of physics that would not be violated would be like when they're talking about portals in the ocean. It would be like interdimensional travel, which seems outrageous because that seems, you know, because we travel all the time. We get in a car, we get in a plane, we move through space all the time. So that seems to make sense. We don't move through dimensions. I mean, we do. We actually do. You know, this is up, this is down, left, right. We go through our 3 dimensions. We don't move to additional dimensions. But we know very clear dimensions in physics are not, we think of spatial dimensions. The dimension in physics is just a boundary condition. We have basically 4 boundary conditions for the way we we move through existence. We can go, forward, back, left, right, the three spatial dimensions, and then time. Those are our four boundary conditions. But there's nothing in the laws of physics that say there can't be more boundary conditions. And actually, most of the laws of advanced physics work better with additional boundary conditions. 11, 10, sometimes 26 in different string theories. And so it's, the if anyone's ever read the book Flatland when they were a kid, I'm probably only nerd out there that read math books.
I don't think I ever heard of that.
Okay, let me do this real quick. So imagine you lived in two-dimensional space, like us, only two dimensions, and you lived on this. You could go forward, back, side to side, right? Well, now say this three-dimensional object comes into play. All it sees is a little circle, and it gets bigger, 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 bigger as the fatter part of the bottle goes across. So the people on this two-dimensional space will be talking to this guy, and all they're seeing is a little ring. And this guy's saying, "No, I'm above you." And they say, "Well, what do you mean above me? How can you be above me?" And they say, "Look up." Well, they can't look up. They're only two-dimensional. And so that's all it would mean. So if there was additional spatial dimensions, that's all it would mean would be they would basically be looking at us in this fourth or fifth or sixth dimension and wondering why we can't see it. Just like, if we lived on a piece of paper in two dimensions, we couldn't see, like if a basketball came through, we would see a point, and then the point would widen out as a circle as the basketball went down and got wider and then smaller. And so, you can break it down into lower dimensions, and it makes sense. Those are like kids' books that explain that. Flatland, read it it's actually a really cool book. It's written, I think, for like eighth graders.
So do you think we're alone on the planet?
I mean, I don't know. Congress is having discussions about interdimensional species right now.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter though, because Russia's starting World War III, so we got to worry about living in these three dimensions before we got to worry.
Oh man, I don't want to get blocked on the YouTube, but is there a certain country that may have cut that internet line over in Europe?
Oh, I don't even know about that.
Yeah, you didn't hear that about that internet line that was cut on the underwater one?
Oh yeah. Well, that might have been the ocean aliens, but yeah. No, well, I guess like someone's reporting that I think Russia's like they're already saying we're in World War III. I mean, Putin announced that new ICBM that we can't detect, which the fact that it's highly unlikely we don't have technologies that at least that advanced, but I don't think it's probably a great move for any of us if we start getting into a warfare with new technologies like that.
Yeah.
To lighten things up, we got a question, Gumman. Is there a reason you don't use dihydroberberine and use the lesser bioavailable? Yes. Read the research. Dihydroberberine technically appears to be more bioavailable, but find any data that shows it improves blood glucose over berberine, and you won't. You will find that if you add a permeability enhancer like sodium caprate, depending on the research study, you'll see that a 20 to 22.5% improvement in blood glucose over berberine and dihydroberberine. Dihydroberberine appears to be more bioavailable, but it does not seem to improve blood glucose like it should, where adding a permeability enhancer to dihydroberberine or berberine does. But since dihydroberberine is more expensive and doesn't improve blood sugar, and that's a thing again why we're selling products that really with nuanced formulations and to an educated public, and dihydroberberine is more expensive. It does not improve the blood glucose control. It's a sodium caprate or permeability enhancer. There's other ones you can use. Sodium caprate's a 10 carbon chain. There's 8 carbon chain ones you could use. But yeah, that's the reason why. It just doesn't improve blood glucose. And so we would be charging you more money for no more effect, hoping that we could write ads on it and people wouldn't know. That's what my biggest frustration is. We could do that, and a lot of companies do that. Trust that the consumer doesn't understand the science as well as our formulation experts or whatever. But that's the truth of it. That's why we don't use it.
Yeah, I have a random one I've been thinking about. So, obviously you think about stuff during the day. And so after college, I moved to Atlanta, and I lived down there for about a year, trained with Steve Goggins, which is awesome. But the point of that story is there was a mecca of CrossFit. Everyone CrossFit. I mean, in the city, the people, when they would do their runs, gyms would just be crossing each other all the time. And so obviously with ESPN and other, big companies on the media stuff sort of pulling from CrossFit a little bit after they had all that debacle with the owners and whatnot, do you guys feel like CrossFit has reached its maximum and it's sort of in like a middle-aged stage where just normal people do it now, or or is it going to get back to being competitive and the shoes and everything will be out there? Because I want to hear John's opinion too, because of course he's with athletes and stuff right now. What do you guys think?
I don't know. It feels like CrossFit kind of peaked a few years back, and it's been on the downslide, at least just in terms of the perception. Like, I remember, like, when I was in college, like, it was enormous. I mean, CrossFit boxes popping up everywhere. Rich Froning was a celebrity, and all these guys, and they're doing the Netflix documentaries on it. What was it, Fittest on Earth? And you've got every soccer mom doing CrossFit and all. Like, I don't know, maybe I just have kind of tuned out to it a little bit. Like, statistically, I couldn't speak to how are they doing, how are CrossFit boxes doing from an actual business standpoint, but it feels like it's kind of been on the downslide in the public eye a little bit.
Yeah.
But then they just did the Rogue Invitational where and I tune in for that, for the strongman, but they still have the CrossFit and all that going at the Rogue Invitational. That's a big competition that they just held.
What was this show, the competition that the guy just died swimming?
Oh yeah,
did you guys see that?
Yeah, was that CrossFit or was that like a
that was CrossFit, and that was the first event they had and they kept the games going, the CrossFit games, for like the next couple of days. The guy died swimming, and it was like the first event.
Well, technically he died drowning, but
rest in peace. We are not laughing about but yeah, so apparently there was like no lifeguards and he was exhausted, and then like he just sort of went under. And if anyone swam in the ocean, you know how rip currents, it's just hard to swim, especially when
it's hard if you're lean. Have you guys swam when you
guys are lean?
Yeah, you sink like a rock.
Yeah. So he passed away, right? And then they were just like, and I think that's why a lot of people, you've seen the spinal cord injuries, you've seen the deaths, cardiovascular deaths, people having heart attacks. Like, there's been a lot of issues, health issues with CrossFit. Like, percentage-wise, it might be lower, but these issues aren't happening with other,
I think two things kind of, and they're completely unrelated, and I think maybe at first glance they don't maybe seem why, but I think two reasons why it kind of hasn't exploded past its peak. One is Olympic weightlifting, oddly enough. I thought with all the clean and jerking and movements like that, I thought there'd be some level of resurgence with Olympic weightlifting. And I think if you would have saw American Olympic weightlifters start doing well on the world level and the Olympic level, it would have really accelerated like the whole CrossFit approach globally, as a true, way to become a better athlete. And then the second one is the fact that there's the CrossFit Games, and it becomes pretty clear pretty quickly, and all, like when they do, like the stories of all the top people, when they do the background stuff, that they don't train CrossFit in their training for the CrossFit Games. It's very individualized, very specific training for the CrossFit Games. They're not going to a CrossFit gym and doing the WOD of the day or whatever. No. And so I think that's a big problem, is you have CrossFit Games where the best CrossFit athletes don't train CrossFit to prepare for the CrossFit Games. And then the way for like a real global exposure and proof that CrossFit is, has value is, what do you do in CrossFit, explosive Olympic type lifting. If that would have produced a surge in Olympic weightlifting in America, I think it would have been a big boost also. But I think those two things kind of force it into this, this corner of, it's middle-aged people who want to stay in shape, which is fine, but it's, there's a definite ceiling on that. Middle-aged people who want to stay in shape, join a gym for 3 years, maybe at most, probably less than 18 months for half of people. It's hard to really grow when, that's those people have money, but those people, 34 to 45-year-old people, people who traditionally weren't in shape, join a CrossFit gym. By year 3, they're out of the industry. So there's a lot of turnover, and there wasn't that growth, and then also like the actual CrossFit games, the winners aren't training CrossFit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's funny. And we got a comment that said there were people pointing and 2 lifeguards swam over, didn't see anything, and just left. So,
lifeguards in quotes. I think that's technically you're not a lifeguard when you're not saving any lives.
Yeah,
that's rough. That's rough.
Yeah. So, John, I do have a question. I'm sorry. I had a question. With your NFL experience, what do you say is the most important? Because we have a lot of listeners who are bodybuilders, strongmen, things like that, strong women, the whole nine. What do you say in order to sort of be, let's say you have athletes or someone you want to train to get to a higher level? Should they focus on size? Should they focus on strength? Should they focus on speed? What do you think is the most important to make it to that highest level which you've been at?
Probably the same factor that I was going to say, the same factor that gets you to the Olympia stage, genetics. I mean, like as a strength and conditioning coach, I so badly wanted the thing that's going to get these athletes next levels, getting them stronger, like things that we can truly influence in the gym. And then you get to the top level and you see who the best guys are, and then you see how average they are in the weight room, and you're like, you're not moving the needle quite as much as you hope you are. I mean, just like the skill set that these guys have to be great in the NFL is just like a certain body control, kinesthetic awareness, a smoothness to the way they move. And that's before you even get into the actual football skills themselves, route running, catching the ball, just kind of a vision and a feel for finding an open spot in the defense. Like there's just so many of these little.
Sorry.
I was going to say, there's just like so many of these little X factor variables that it's hard to put a finger on, and it rarely comes down to, he got so much bigger and stronger in the weight room. That's what took him next level. Like we can absolutely augment and build upon tools that these guys have. We can make them more durable. I think that's a huge thing that we influence. And like you develop confidence and toughness, and certainly for like the college freshmen, putting lean tissue on them over the course of a college career, that's going to be huge. But for those NFL guys, it's like, man, keep them healthy, try to add some years to their career, keep them durable.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Justin?
Oh, I was going to speak, but then I realized you actually have experience in the NFL, so I should probably stay in my lane. But, no, I was gonna say it's just so specific now. Like, an edge rusher. You guys are 6'6", 250, really explosive, extremely long arms, long reach. Wide receivers, big hands. Cornerbacks are all like within like a 3-inch range of height. Wide receivers are taller. If you're not 6'8", 330 pounds, you're not playing left tackle. It's just so, like the genetic, like specificity is so specific now that, you can improve, your strength and everything. And there's certain positions, like I would argue, like, like an Aiden Hutchinson as a pass rusher, if he'd never stepped foot in a weight room, isn't going to be as good as he is. But like a wide receiver, or I love lifting. I could, all my years in the weight room, some left tackle who just goes through the motions in the weight room is going to pancake me every time, for the fact that they're 6'7", 340 pounds.
It's pretty much athletes nowadays. We've so fine tuned. Even if you watch like a D1, like John, where you've coached at and you coach at and stuff, you watch like an SEC front line and the guys walk by you. And John, in case people don't know, John is actually over here. John is actually a giant. So he's pretty much our American Thor. John, how tall are you again and how big?
Right now I'm 6'7", just fell below 300 because I'm deep in a diet here, but I normally walk around at about 330.
Yeah, in a former life, he was a Viking, and he just tore down villages. So,
Yeah.
but like, so for
Carrying the
him,
biggest horde, riding the biggest horse.
yeah. So for John, it's not a big deal. But like for someone like me, I'm 5'10", 5'11", just 5'11". When an SEC, a 19-year-old playing on the line, walks by us, we're like, yo, how is that? How is that 19-year-old 6'8" and 330 pounds and moves like a hurdler?
Yeah. I've become so like desensitized to seeing people like that because I spend my entire day all day just around these guys. So
It's
then
freaks.
I like go
Yeah.
out in public. I'm like, why are people like looking at me weird? And then I have to remind myself that it's like, oh yeah, to most folks, we're kind of a sight.
I kind of miss when it was, I mean, I think it's only been the last 15 years, maybe, I feel like, where it was really, really specific, even at the college level, for player size and player position. Because if you remember, like 1999 Virginia Tech
Mhm.
defensive end, and I know this because I played I played college football as a defensive end that year, so and I was like sack specialist. Corey Moore, I think, had 17 sacks for Virginia Tech, and he was like 5'11", 225 or something. And you'll never see that again. I don't think playing defensive end at 5'11" at a major D1 school.
Those were the days of like the cowboy collar, and you
Oh
had
yeah,
like a dude who's like 6 foot flat.
Risers,
Yeah,
your shirt cut off. Yeah,
The edge rushers today, in my opinion, they're the biggest freaks in the game right now because I mean, they've got to be so fast, but they've got to be big. I mean, you look at these guys and a typical NFL edge rusher is going to be 6'4", 250, but run a 4.45.
which is
Their
insane because
ability.
Jerry Rice ran a 4.7.
put that in perspective.
Yeah, so I mean, those were the guys I had to go up against as an offensive tackle. So, I mean, just the hybrid athlete that those guys are, it's freakish. I had the opportunity to work with some good ones in my career. I worked with the Carolina Panthers, and we had Julius Peppers.
Oh wow.
He was a freak. With the Texans, we had Will Anderson this past year as a rookie coming out of Alabama, just another freak. So I mean, you see these guys, you see how fast they are, their ability to bend, just how smooth they are, and the power that they strike you with, and just
I
the
mean,
arm
he's
length.
not a defensive end, but like Aaron Donald, that
Yeah.
dude's
So
practically a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
He's
I
like
had to go up
impressive as
against Aaron
hell.
Donald. I had to go up against Aaron Donald in 2013 when he was at Pitt. And that was like his breakout year. Like nobody really knew who he was yet. We were watching film. We see this kind of undersized defensive tackle just wrecking havoc in the backfield, and we're like, surely this guy can't be that good, because we see his build, and I mean he was way undersized. Like you said, I mean you look at him, he's super lean.
What was he like
But God,
6'2" or something?
if that, he was like 6'1",
Yeah, he's
6'2",
not. I think he's like
Yeah, that's
six
sub
one.
300
small. Yeah.
pounds.
Yeah, I mean he's bigger now. He's got to be. No, he's still probably. Let me check. I'm on
But
Wikipedia.
even just
280.
height,
He's still under 6'1", 280. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean his quickness and his like feel for just there's just it's hard to put your finger on it. Some sort of spatial awareness, just like he can sense where the offensive line is and knows exactly how to just kind of slither through there,
Yeah.
and does it with just an explosive quickness. And I mean, it's just like it's almost like a black belt in martial arts, just their ability to like use your opponent's movements against them. Like he was just insane at that. And I mean, he made a Hall of Fame career out of doing it. He made me look silly a couple times in the game that I played against him.
John, we had one question pop in while we were talking. How would you work with an athlete trying to recover from a torn ACL? I'm going to assume that they already had the surgery.
Yeah. So I mean that's a big part of our job right now is the the return to play component of things, and obviously ACLs, that's a super common one with us. So there's always going to be a little bit of a stage immediately post surgery, where they're working exclusively with the physical therapist before they kind of graduate to the strength and conditioning side of things. So I mean, during that time, we're essentially working around the issue. But once they are cleared to move a little bit, a lot of the time it's those guys just gaining flexion and extension back into that knee. So I mean, just increasing range of motion gradually over time. Like I like using, step down variations. If starting on a 2-inch block, just doing a step down, heel flat, pushing your knee over your toe, and gradually over time increase that range of motion a little bit. So they're getting more and more loaded knee flexion. Strengthening the tissue around the knee just to give it support, doing a lot of lower leg work, calf, tibialis, obviously strengthening all components of the quad, the hamstring, and then just you want to train the good limb hard. It tends to be a little bit of an error people make. They're worried about creating this imbalance. There's a lot of research that shows if you train, if you've got an injured limb and you train the good limb, there's going to be some neuromuscular carryover that benefits the injured limb by training the good one. And then also it's just like, as you're returning an injured knee, you want to return it to the standard of a healthy knee. You don't want to just bring it back to the status of a shitty, untrained other limb, right? You want to train the good limb so it's strong and healthy, and that's what you want to get that's the level you want to bring the injured side back up to and compare it to. So a lot of times people will neglect training the good side until they've gained full function in the injured side. But anyway, long answer just to say gradually increase the range of motion, loaded knee flexion over time, strengthen all the tissue around the knee.
Okay. Now I have a question. So, what's your IG really quick for people that want to follow you?
At what_the_heck71. What the heck 71?
Oh, it's close.
What the heck? I like it. So I don't know if I think Justin is, but I am a big horror movie, more of a thriller type guy. We had a movie come out recently that was a little bit of a topic for not controversy, but people were saying, some said it was terrible, some said it was scary. I don't know if you guys have seen Terrifier, the Terrifier series.
I've seen 1 and 2. I still haven't seen 3.
Okay, I haven't seen 3 either. Justin went and saw it, right? And I think I tried to tell him it's not so much like a thriller where you're like thinking about it's just a pure gore movie. What did you think, Justin?
It's the only one I've seen. My kids warned me. My kids really want to see it. They were big fans of 1 and 2, and they did not like 3.
Why didn't they like 3?
I think I haven't seen the first ones, from what they told me, 3 was what I was expecting. But I think the first one was like low budget and kind of quirky, I think the second one kind of like followed that. And I think this one, it was like that weird mix of, didn't they make a second Blair Witch Project? Like there's certain things that catch like the low budget that it just works. And when you try to apply a big budget to that, it doesn't work anymore. And I think that's what it was. The special effects were really high quality, but I think that was the problem. I think they, you made a low budget movie with a high budget.
Well, the Terrifier, it's kind of a one-trick pony movie that I feel like they can only milk it for so many sequels. It's kind of like this, like vaguely like quirky, endearing clown kills people in more creative ways, and it's like that's just 3 movies of like, how is he going to kill the person this time?
Because there never really was a story, there was a little. They tried to make one the second, but it's not like Michael Myers, right? And you have his backstory, and he comes back, he kind of hunts people in town. And
I think that I'm not like a horror or gore like fanatic, but I feel like the trick with things that are scary is it's always scarier when you don't see everything, and that's like, because it's the unknown that's scary, like you I don't know, if you're walking through a dark house and there's a coat hanging on the wall that you're not expecting. It can kind of, where if a coat's hanging there and you see the coat, even if the coat is covered in blood and you see it, it's not like seeing things are just less scary. And I think they showed everything, So like when they saw someone in half through his ass crack, they show for like 2 minutes the slow sawing, and that's like fun, I guess, kind of like, oh, that's just disgusting. But part of the fear, I think, is like, because your imagination's always worse than what it's like when you're a kid and you'd like play with your friends, and you'd want to like build a plane. Like your imagination's always way more exotic and elaborate than what you're actually able to do.
Mm-hmm.
And even with all the money and everything with Hollywood, our brains are always way more fucked up than they can do with special effects.
That's one of the functions that made Jaws like a really good film, was they didn't reveal the shark until late in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like you said, they kind of leaves it up to your imagination up until the big reveal.
Yeah, I've always been. Some people don't like him, but I've been a fan of M. Night Shyamalan and his series of movies like The Village, Signs, Alien, all those.
Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense. Yeah, exactly. And
sometimes I swear I'm living that movie at home. I just have not. Yeah, well, no one ever listens to me, or it's like I'm not there. I just keep waiting to find out that
you've been dead this whole time.
Yeah, I'm asking people to do things.
Who's that Shyamalan movie with where the plants release the toxin that makes
with Mark Wahlberg?
Suicidal? Yeah, Mark. Was it The Happening?
That was shoot. Someone in the comments knows that was the Mark Wahlberg one where like the wind.
Wear municipal clothing in the movie. Do you guys follow him on Instagram?
A toxin or something, right? And it made people like kill themselves.
It was like the plants just started releasing a neurotoxin. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember what that one was called.
I think it was The Happening.
The Happening.
Yeah. I vaguely remember. I don't think I ever saw that. I remember that now.
Twin hit us up. The Happening, but he did one recently with where it was called Trap or The Trap, and it was about a serial killer who takes his daughter to like a concert, and they realize they have like they surround the building, and I won't get into it because I want to ruin it for people, but the serial killer has to figure out how to get out of that situation because they have the whole place surrounded and stuff like that. It's pretty good, but I don't know, man. I think some of his earlier stuff was definitely a little better.
Yeah, I like the M. Night Shyamalan stuff. Just the twists and all that. Just knowing there's gonna be a plot twist coming.
Yeah, I like the movies. I don't like three names, especially when the first one is just a letter. That's too much.
Such a hater, dude. Well, you know what? The only thing that really pisses me off is the milking of a movie that should have been one and done. Like, dude, Gladiator. Hello, dude, it's done.
And I hear they cut out the gay kissing scene with Denzel Washington. That's the only reason any of us were going to see it.
They cut it out.
Yeah,
Denzel was supposed to make out with a dude.
He did. Yeah, poor guy.
And
I'm not even making the final cut.
And they cut it out. So they made Denzel make out with a dude, and then they just cut it out.
He's all pissed. He brings it up in every interview.
Damn, man. Well, I heard from what I saw.
I can't believe they redid that. Why? I mean, they nailed that movie. That's a good movie.
I watched it last night, to be honest. The extended release, the extended cut, it was like
good movie.
2.5 hours.
I might watch that. That's Hollywood sucks. They need to get their shit together because the whole Hollywood it's dying. We hardly ever go to movies. When we have a theater at home, the kids would rather just wait till it comes out. It's like going to the theater is not like what it used to be. There's no they only do the big budget movies because no one goes to movies anymore. So like all those like cool 80s movies that like I grew up with that would never get made anymore. None of the like the Brat Pack movies or like the Hughes movies, like Breakfast Club would never get made now. It's only big budget action films. And so and even those pretty soon Netflix and Amazon Prime are going to be big enough to actually produce a quality movie like an Avengers, and then Hollywood's over. They need to come up with some ideas.
Yeah.
I think I've been to a theater since, I think it was pre-COVID last time I've actually seen a movie in theaters.
Yeah, they're all dying. They almost died during COVID, and then Hollywood did nothing to help. Like I mean, there's just they go all in on, and some people have talked about. I can't remember, some actor talked about it, or no, Matt Damon. Matt Damon explained why, like kind of why it's that way now, and just how expensive it is, and how much they rely on global release, and because you don't get with the streaming services, you don't get those VCR rentals for months and you don't get all that money. It's like a one and done streaming payout. And so they have to go big budget with it, and then so much money. You're $500 million in on budget and advertising, before you break even. But
Dude, long gone are the days of, and it could be a good thing. Long gone are the days of celebrities, right? It's like
yeah,
you
it's
still
very
have
good.
them, but it's like everyone's at so close with Instagram. Like you see what everyone's doing. You see someone on the street 20 years ago, you might have been like, oh my God, that's so and so. You might pass them out like, oh, hey, isn't that actor or whatever? And it's changing. But I think I don't know if you guys have seen this. I think they do some European films. It's a I don't know if it's publishing or they create it, but it's called like A24 films.
Mm-hmm.
They put out some really good ones. So, but yeah, I mean, times are changing. It's the same thing with bodybuilding. We talk about, little plug, guys. We're going to be at the Arnold. John's going to be there as well, so you can come see how actually large he is in person.
Yeah, we got a big booth. We just get some of the renders for the design. We're doing a whole custom design. We're going all out for the Arnold. So come see it.
But dude,
Peak off season size by then.
There you go. But dude, it's crazy because, and I know Justin remembers this, John. I don't know if you went to back in the day expos, but dude, it was to the point that there would be so many people in the aisle, you would be pushing people's like booths over, like booths, like because there were so many people in the aisle, you couldn't get by it. I think it's
typically air, what is it, like 24% oxygen, like 40%. There it was like 76% fart and
protein fart.
Oh God, it's brutal. It's warm.
It's getting better, but it's still not, that code on that C word, unfortunately really changed a lot of things. And
yeah, that one.
People got used to, ordering things online and doing things online and not having to go see things in person and stuff. So it changed a lot in the industry.
Yeah, the expos were the Arnold got like pretty rough, like 2017, 18, 19. I think they had like 300,000 people through there. It got yeah, it's the floor layout, the floor space is it's a nice setup. They don't have everything in one spot. They have two stages, kind of separate, wider aisles, and so I think they're making some changes to make expos great again.
This will be my first time going to the Arnold or really any expo in the fitness industry, because being in strength and conditioning, our version of it's always the various national strength and conditioning conferences that we go to, and there's they got all the equipment vendors, and that's our version of it. But no, this will be my first time at the Arnold, so I'm excited.
It's gonna be fun, guys. Make sure, I already see Dom said he's gonna be there. Guys, come check us out. We'd love to come. We'll chit chat with you. We are not better than you, right? So we're not going to treat you like we're better than you. Come hang out with us. Come chat with us. We're just guys like you. So, definitely see us
bros.
Bros, dude.
Bros.
Yeah.
Like
so
protein? I like protein.
Well, I've got a question. Justin, you got a little lean, right? And people have been asking this.
Oh, never mind.
You got a little lean. Some of your photos on Instagram got you a little lean. Everyone knows you've been in the game with, with Steve Kuklo. You've been in the game forever. But the one thing that you had to pull to be a family man and, to make money and to run your business, you never really got that pro card. You can definitely get it.
Taking it in.
I know you can definitely get it, right? You have a physique for it. But will you ever get it? What do you think? Are you going to go for it or no?
Man, I don't know. I'd have to train legs hard again. No, I don't know. I would never say no. It's a silly thing. Like anyone, like when I competed, it was all I just you want to beat yourself, and I wouldn't be my all-time best. I think I could maybe be good enough to turn pro. Especially I'm over 45 now. it would be really hard. It'd be really hard to get on stage and win when I was far less than on stage when I didn't win. Like 2007 was my last real show of the USA's, and it would, I was like seventh there, and it would suck. I don't know. I'll never say never, because I never thought I'd get in shape again, actually. So I never thought I would diet down again. So a year ago I would have said no. Right now my focus is the businesses. If you guys keep buying supplements, and I can, we can hire more people, and I can just let the company run itself and go back to coaching and training like I did back then, maybe, yeah.
So we got a couple questions.
You getting a pro card would help the business.
Oh, now you got to come with logic.
Well, so dude, just compete and don't look at the photos. Just get the pro card.
No, it's just I'm not. I wouldn't say no. My focus right now is I want to build this business, and like, I coach is my main thing, and I just don't want to. I want to make sure my clients aren't neglected. I want to make sure the company's not neglected. It would be a lot to ask, if to put all my focus into a prep. I don't want to neglect the company, and I won't neglect my clients. And so the company's grown. If you would, like I said, if you would ask me a year ago, I would have said absolutely not. The company's doing really well. We're hiring people. The workload's good, keeps decreasing for me. If I can get to that, like that nice role where I just like sign checks and
so guys, you know what he's trying to say? He's trying to say as soon as he reaches the 50 plus masters, he will compete. So that's a couple more years. We'll be in a good spot.
The fact that my age is over 45 is definitely, because I don't feel old. I don't feel old at all. I still laugh at fart jokes. I still watch cartoons. I still masturbate daily. I don't feel old at all. So
we had someone will buy a twin. Say you buy 4 field rations if Justin goes after his pro card. So
all right, if everyone buys 4 field rations, I'm in.
And then we got another question. So I'm Little Big John, and then this is Big John the Mountain. I'm competing in a couple months. If you can figure that one out, let me know. Put it in the comments if you think you know what that is.
It'll be a big, yeah.
We've already won that competition. Now we're going to take the overall. So if you know what that means. And then Big John the Mountain, when are you competing next, bro?
I actually, if you had asked me a year ago, I would have said I don't think I'd ever actually step on stage. But man, I've got the itch big time. I've realized over the last few years just how much I love doing this stuff, especially like right now. I'm dieting down as if I was prepping.
You're lean right now.
I think, yeah. I think I'm going to do a show next year. That's the new goal right now.
Oh yeah.
I've crossed a lot of things off my bucket list in powerlifting and strongman, and my body hurts from that. I feel a lot better focusing on physique. So I think that's what my new goal is going to be for myself.
I've seen your 850. What was it, 825, 850 pull on Instagram? What was it?
825. Yep.
It's the only 800-pound deadlift that traveled 7 feet.
Yeah, yeah, dude.
It honestly blow my mind because the bar just keeps going and going and going.
Yeah.
That deadlift lasted 30 seconds. I remember it. And
it was a speed rep. That's the thing. It just traveled 14 feet.
Yeah.
No, I think I've still got a few big deadlifts in me. I'll always chase a few big gym lifts, but I do want to get on stage in the next year and see what I can do in the physique realm.
Guys, we want to put it out there too, because I know all of us think the same about this. You never know until you try. If you do go into a prep, feel free to reach out to us. Any of us ask questions, and use our supplements. Going to help get you in shape, help get you to the point where you can compete. There's no sense in living your whole life and not even stepping on stage once. Just do it, because 99% of the time, either you're going to be like satisfied and be like, okay, I'm done. But 99% of the time, you get bit by the iron bug, and it just helps keep you improving more and more and more every time. So if anyone listens to this, if you're on the fence, compete. Just do it.
The thing with it's it's a, like it's just a sport. It's a silly little sport, but you'll never learn more about yourself than getting into contest shape. Everything else you'll do after that is going to seem easy. It's just so different from anything else you'll do. There's no other sport that lets you get just completely engulfed and wrapped up in. There's no other sport where every 3 hours of every single day with a meal is basically make or break. I mean, it's still, because it's so precise, and the guys, there's always someone who's obsessed enough where every 3 hours for 16 weeks they don't ever miss a step. And so there's nothing else. Like if you're someone who's competitive and really loves like digging deep into something, there's nothing like the sport of bodybuilding. I love powerlifting, I love football, I love baseball growing up, but bodybuilding will always have my heart for that, because there's nothing else out there that just lets you, that just like covers everything there is about being passionate with something, because it's every day, your cardio, your training, every 3 hours is basically make or break for months, and then it's like a suffering that no one else knows or understands, and you go about your day and you're depleted and tired and hungry, and everyone else is just going, and they have no idea what you're going through, and it's like, not to be like one of those chick magazines, like empowering, but it really is like, you really learn a lot about yourself and what you can handle, what you can tolerate. And once you get in contest shape, nothing else is hard. I mean, nothing else is hard. Start, like whatever goals you have for life, they're easy. If you can get in contest shape, whatever, goals you have with work or business or family or anything, piece of cake. Nothing is as hard as a contest prep.
Yeah.
I can't speak to experience like you guys, because obviously I haven't stepped on stage yet, but just to piggyback on that, just like, dieting down for 16 weeks every year, getting pretty damn near stage lean. It's like one of the things I loved about powerlifting and strongman was like, you have a great training session, like that's a win, but I only get 4 or 5 of those a week. Doing this, it's like I've got 6 meals to do per day, plus cardio, plus training. It's like every single one of those meals is like a win. And I feel like you said, it's like every 3 hours, I'm like checking off another win. Just being hungry reminds me that like the diet's working, and like I'm doing something that other people aren't. So I don't know. It's like, it's incredibly gratifying. And it's also like you feel it's within your control. It's like I can't necessarily control in, like powerlifting, strongman, if I'm going to go in and be at my strongest that day, or how things are going to progress. But I can control every single calorie I put in my body, and I can control every single meal I eat. So I feel like I'm in control of my destiny here, and I get 6 opportunities to stack wins every day, and it's gratifying.
Yeah. All right, I have another question for you guys. Have you put your Christmas stuff up yet?
I smell hot chocolate. All the girls they're about to start doing it right now. I think right now.
Is it illegal to put it up before Thanksgiving or no?
No, it's not even illegal before Halloween, unfortunately.
Apparently, Walmart.
Yeah, I mean, I think they tried to pass a law on that, but no, it's this is probably late for us. We're one of those like cheeseball families that do it way too early.
Way too early.
But we're also in Michigan. There's snow on the ground, so it makes sense. There's no snow where you're at, John?
No, not in Virginia Beach. No, it was like 35. What about you, John? What about in Texas? Are you in Texas or no? Hold on, I can't hear you that well, John. We're losing John in the last couple.
He's in Alabama.
We still can't hear. We lost John technically, but I mean, we don't have any snow over here in Virginia. But I wish it would. It's weird because as you move close to the beach, you get a weird type of weather. The rainstorms last 10 minutes, no matter what. Just because the winds are always moving and things like that. John, I think I can hear you now. Oh no, we just lost you again. We lost you again.
Even if we can hear him, let's pretend like we can't. Just see what he does.
Yeah. But yeah, no, the weather is definitely weird at the beach. I know Michigan's been pretty cold and stuff like that, but You know,
Yeah,
it's
we're
one of
weird
those
too
things.
because we have Lake Michigan just not very far west of us,
Mm,
and so we get kind of pretty. It fluctuates quite a bit. If we get that western wind over the lake, it'll get cold in a hurry.
hmm Yeah, John, are you still there? Before
Yeah, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Huh?
Okay, so
Oh, come
Okay.
on!
so is it? Do you guys put up your Christmas stuff early or no?
Yeah, so my wife put up the tree right after Halloween. It's
Damn.
there's no
Okay.
snow there's no snow on the ground here. It was 80 degrees last week here in
Where are
Alabama.
you at? Alabama or Texas?
I'm in Alabama right now. I was in Houston
Alabama.
last year. I am in
It
Troy,
depends if he's standing
Alabama
or
right
laying. If
now.
he lays down, his feet are technically in Texas.
Yeah, dude.
Exactly.
Stop being so damn
No,
big, man.
we're full Christmas spirit right now though.
Good, man. Guys, I just want to say we are coming close to the end of this episode, Naked and Afraid of Goon Platoon. ATP is out, my friends. ATP is out. Effervescence. It's newest product on the market. No one else has something like this. If you don't believe me, look it up online. Look at what we got in it. So, guys, make sure you try it. Justin, I'll give you and John your parting.
I mean, you should try ATP. I just want people to try it so they can feel what I've been feeling for the last 6 months. I mean, you see me on podcasts. It's the I mean, I'm not old, but I'm 45. I'm supposed to be not as sharp mentally, and but I feel as crisp and sharp as ever. I love the product. It's the only product that I I was really hesitant to give samples out. When you do an R&D, you try to get as many people to test as possible, but I liked it so much, it was really hard to give up. But actually, honestly, if you guys don't buy it, that's fine with me because I have a lifetime supply.
John, we want to send you a big thank you, brother. Thank you for coming on tonight. John is part of the team, guys. It's what the heck. What was your Instagram again? One more time.
What the heck 71? What _ heck 71?
Yeah, so I reposted one of John's photos today. Absolutely insane. John has a crazy physique. Going to be stepping on stage soon. The guy's pretty much Thor, except he's got bigger last than Thor. So look forward to that, seeing that, and just want to thank him for coming on here. And if you guys have any questions or you want us to talk about something while we're messing around next week while you're doing your cardio or whatnot, shoot us a message, shoot us a DM, hit us up on Instagram, write in the comments below.
Yeah, leave comments on topics you want, and we'll cover them.
Yeah, if you guys have questions about topics, or for instance, we had a question about recovery, ACL recovery, guys, shoot John a DM. Shoot him a message. He'll help you out. Team Troponin here, Troponin Supplements. Just want to thank you guys for all your support again. And we will make sure to be back same time next week, 5:30 on Friday. And we'll catch you next time.
Thanks, guys.